Hi, good day. I'm Coach Anton from Coach Anton Pty Ltd. I'm a sports mental coach, and we are currently busy with a series on how to use sports mental coaching. We started with this about 3 months ago, so if you've been missing any of this, please go ahead, entertain yourself to it. There should be a link in the description right now as well above here that you can basically follow to go and look at our playlist that includes the full series. Now, in this series, we have really been trying to break it down and make it easier step by step. In today's video, I would like to focus on injury rehabilitation. Now, what is injury rehabilitation and how does that actually function? How does mental coaching and injury rehab work? I mean, isn't it the leg you injured or the arm you injured or whatever else? Well, yes, it is. However, what we need to realize is that when it comes to injuries, okay, there is a mental block that we literally create very easily as well. It's quite a traumatizing experience, especially for an athlete, especially for a sports person out there. I mean, your body is literally what you need for your career to exist. So as a sports player or an athlete, we all know that's one thing we fear is that dreadful, serious injury that might stop our career. And unfortunately, many will face it. So when you face that serious injury and you've overcome it, and you're now busy with your physical rehabilitation as you go ahead on that, you now need to go back into the game. So that's one aspect I'm going to cover. But on the way there, there's another step you need to think about. All right? And that's why sports mental coaching is so important. Sometimes this injury might have been so serious that you won't be able to actually go back and play properly. So if you can't go back and play at a professional level, how do you cope with that? Quite frankly, you are going to need a mental coach to assist you. That will really help you a lot. However, the situation differs and you need to prepare yourself for that. You need to prepare yourself for life after your playing days. That's the easiest way to make it easier for the day when something like this do happen. But if you didn't and this do happen, well then it's never too late. You can still look at actually at that stage, quickly looking at other options, other alternatives, staying in the sports industry or moving into another professional environment. That is unfortunately something we don't want to cover. So I'm not going to focus too much on that right now. But the reality is, yes, that do exist and one need to think about it. So when it comes to an injury and you're going back to actually play, you've got to go through rehabilitation before that. And in that process, you've got to try and get back to a thinking process of not thinking about the injury when you're actually applying the very same kick or whatever it was that you applied when you got injured. Take, for example, a player who takes a shot and receives a stud showing tackle on that foot, breaks the foot. Whenever the player is due to take another shot again with a player coming to defend him, he is likely to find a scenario where he's going to be like, oh no, I'm not doing this right now. Take the golfer, taking a swing, a specific swing, and got injured through it. Every time he's going to need to do that specific swing, his mind might subconsciously remembers that, of course. And because remember that, he actually is going to have, in any cases, even though the player was kicking, you're just going to have that split second of doubt. And that makes you more vulnerable to re-injuring yourself again. As you're busy doing the action, that doubt creates a little bit of a pause, which delays your timing, which increases the chance of injury. So we've got to understand, so this is actually quite something serious. Very, very serious out there. And remember, I've also mentioned in one of my previous videos, it's a saying in sports mental coaching that says, what you fear, you attract, what you avoid comes back, what you face disappears. So, you know what, you're likely to fear that scenario because there's some kind of a fear built into you when you got that injury. Your body remembers that and you'll remember that. So, that specific fear needs to be overcome. You need to deal with that thoughts. You need to overcome those thoughts. You need to have a lot of positive self-talk about it. You need to have a lot of training in the same type of environment to actually get yourself to overcome that mentally too. And then you're going to need to think about, not avoiding it. So many players then say, now I've got to try and avoid this. The reality is you've played soccer until that moment. done the same move many times out there, never got injured, and then one day you got injured from it. That one time should not guide and lead your thoughts. You should play the way you did before, so that you can overcome that. Face it. Alright? Yes, if it is something that's extremely dangerous out there, and perhaps it's not the first time you got injured like that, you might want to think of changing, how you play at a specific time to basically face it slightly differently. Alright? But you still have to face the reality that players are going to tackle you in that box. Or if you're a golfer, that you're going to have a certain type of swing necessary somewhere along your game. Whatever it is that you are busy playing out there, you need to think about it. So injury rehabilitation is very important. And mental blocks is something very dangerous out there. I've got another video that speaks about mental blocks, but injuries is one of those that can cause mental blocks, and that can actually lead to re-injuring yourself, or potentially actually just dropping your form in your game, because something you need to do, you're actually not going to end up doing, or your concentration is going to drop, and that can have far worse consequences, such as, for example, even kicking in the vicious cycle of frustration. Another video on that as well. I really recommend that the methods and the technique we use of this is visualization. We've got to visualize yourself through this process that you're going to need to apply without the injury occurring, so that you can get used to it again and have successful tackles or successful shots and successful whatever it is that failed when you got your injury, that you get successful actions of the same type of action in order to overcome the mental block. Through visualization, this is very powerful. Another one that you can use is a lot of positive self-talk, and you use that more when you get scared or fearful because of a similar thing you might face. Maybe a free kick is about to be taken, and you got your injury during a free kick. Say you're a defender and someone smacked the ball into your head, you had a concussion from that, and now you're standing in that wall and you're facing another free kick, and the top free kick taker with a powerful shot is taking it. You're likely to fear being hit by the ball again. And that can actually mean that you either don't look or close your eyes, which makes it worse, because if the ball then comes for you, you're actually not going to be ready for it, and it will hurt you again. So you're going to have to think about it and make sure that you concentrate, you have positive self-talk towards yourself, and keep yourself in the game. Keep your mind in the game. Keep your concentration there all the time through. But anyways, that's just two key methods that I really believe is key to many of these type of things and overcoming a lot of problems. You would hear me referring to those methods in various different ways of using it along many of my actual discussions. But when it comes to all of these things, guys, if there's any more questions, there's a lot of other methods that might work for different people out there and for different sports. So feel free in the comments below to put down your questions, to put down your comments you might have in there as well about this video and or about sports mental coaching in general, or my series that I'm currently running through. So I'm looking forward to seeing your comments, and I hope to see you again back for our next video. Hope you enjoyed this video, hope these tips helped you, and you'll be able to overcome an injury or guide someone around you to overcome an injury they need to do. That's it from me. I'm Coach Anton from Coach Anton Pty Ltd. Please go ahead, subscribe to our channel, like this video, and please share this to whoever could benefit from this information. After all, it's free. That's it from me. Enjoy your day.